Right. Hello, whoever is here. Oh, wait, I have to announce that I'm here. No way. Dr. Jones? Dr. Jones, Dr. Jones, Dr. Jones. Hold on. Hold on. Je l'aimerais soit? No way. Um... mhm. Why isn't it working anymore? Okay. Je l'aimerais soit. Okay, good. Gotta go to the toilet. It's true. fajno, chodź. Alright, ready. Hello, who are you here? Are you here? Who you are? Who is here? What is your name? You know what I mean? What's your name? Alright, let's try to get that thing. You know what? Hello, gay young wannabe. Hello, hello, how are you? What is your name? I mean, I know your name. Your name is Gay Young Wannabe. Do you know how to get that thing that I want to get? You know what I mean? Because if I get it, then I'll be able to... Hold on, I have to do this. This is Mael. What is Imakalet? Combo... Power attack? Yeah. You know what I mean? You understand my feelings? How to get that thing from the siren, do you know? Hey, let's go. Do you know what I mean? We will do this and then we will do some news. How does that sound? Does that sound very good? Or very bad? You know what I mean? Let's do... Elemental Genesis. Alright. Let's put the skills, okay? Mayhem will become Elemental Genesis. Alright. Does that flag say 67? Yes, Expedition 67. What do you mean? It's Expedition 67. You don't know how I feel? You do not understand my feelings? Okay, we go to the monolith. Attention! Hey, you wannabe. Attention! You know what I mean? Do you understand my feelings? I'm gonna show you a cutscene. I don't know what we're doing. I'm not a video game person.
Assurons-nous quand même de nous y préparer au mieux avant. Il nous reste encore un peu de temps.
You're about to see something amazing then, okay? You're about to become a gay person, okay? A video gay person. You know what I mean? It'll be a video gay person. Watch this. Cutscene, okay? You'll be amazed. It's a French game. Mes enfants. Watch this. Mes enfants.
Maël? Tiens, à toi l'honneur. Wow.
Iracebo. Alegrinda.
Let's go. How do you like this, Grayon wannabe? Is this now your favorite game? You know what I mean? This is now your favorite game, isn't it? You know? You know what I mean? Hello, Big Jerry. We like defeat the Paintress. Look at her big feet. Yeah.
Oui, on peut le faire. Pour Gustave.
Pour tous les autres.
Wow. Expedition CT3. Let us destroy them. You know what I mean? Look at this. Do you see now? Where are the enemies? There are no enemies here. Look, it's the paintress and her giant feet. There's a paintress.
Sors et fuis, je t'en prie. Fuis ce tableau maudit, cette toile d'une fausse vie. Portrait rêvé, imparfait.
Fight me, paintress. Fight me. I will kill you. You know what I mean? Have you heard of Anna Dream Barbecue? It's a different game from whatever this is, but there's some visual things that give similar vibe. I only played a little bit of Anna Dream Barbecue because, I don't know. You just walk and talk in that game, you know? Is that the game where you look for the toilet?
Alors tranchons la trame, découle la sinistre
Or am I mistaken?
Sors et fuis, je t'en prie. Tableau de
T'en tireras pas.
toile
Une tempête approche.
I cannot hit the paintress.
À mon tour.
Pigment tendu. Voilà notre chance.
Nos attaques ne lui font rien.
Je comprends pas. Nos attaques gradients devraient marcher. Non, Maël.
Maël?
Je ne crois pas que ce soit...
Non. Non, 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 non.
He's burning them. Like in the fire. Because there was a fire in the real world. Whatever. I'm not gonna spoil you the story. You know what?
Tout le monde va bien?
Hello, French Lucy. Hello, Hello, Polish Malaki. Malaki.
Suivons-la. Vite.
Vite.
Quoi?
Quoi?
C'est peut-être notre seule chance.
C'est sa chance.
Ok.
What do you think of the game? Good way to practice your French, then you'll just need a wine and cheese. Vietnam loves wine and cheese, interestingly enough. I'm not sure if you knew, but wine and cheese is a big thing in Vietnam. And ironically, actually. I bet you did not know this. But it's true.
Nous sommes à l'intérieur du monolithe? C'était quoi cette chose? Et pourquoi nous a-t-elle aidé à entrer? Tu vas bien, Maëlle?
Là-haut,
Maëlle,
la peintresse.
Pentress.
Elle est là-haut.
Que veux-tu dire?
Je sais pas trop. Mais je sens que la vraie peintresse. Son cœur
Pentress.
est quelque part
The
au-dessus
French
de
did
nous.
not just invade Vietnam, the
dirait
French
qu'il va nous falloir
colonized
monter,
Vietnam.
alors.
Do not whitewash your sins, Malaki. Do not whitewash your sins. Okay? It's true. Monolith. Gentlemen, swap. Look at this. Boom. Oh, boom. Boom. Gentlemen, swap. Qu'est-ce que c'est?
Une pluie.
Tu t'en tireras pas.
Gentlemen, swap.
Je m'en occupe.
Mon ami.
Bon, tant pis. Attention, Maël.
Que l'encre plus vite.
I am powerful.
Excellent.
we will defeat the Pentas. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Look at this pervert. It's the paintress. The paintress is painting. This game speaks to me because I
Verso.
come from a painter
C'était quoi,
family
ça?
actually.
Je ne sais pas.
Le feu.
You know?
Encore.
My mom's a painter and my grandmother was a painter, so this game speaks to me. This game speaks to my heart actually. You know what I mean? I will touch Luna. We will bang, you know? Hardcore. Look at this, Berserk Slap. Mon ami.
Il faut parer.
What is gay? Sorry. Homosexual.
Une tempête approche.
Hello. Welcome, viewers. We will do news after this, okay? We will just play this for like an hour or so and then we'll do news. How is everybody today? I start my treatment today, my psychiatric treatment. Did you know this about me? Also, we're gonna do a story about Ice because Ice is crazy. You won't believe what happened. Even I did not believe. I mean, I believe, but you know, but you will not believe. You know?
Une pluie de flammes.
Frayons-nous un chemin.
Wow. I'm pretty good. Pretty good at this. Hold on. Oh wow, okay. Where is this going? We're about to unlock something really cool. If we can find the third thing. I think I found the third thing. Hold on. And I thought I found the third thing. Can you see where the third thing is? Can you help me find the third thing? If you can... Oh! Hold on. You didn't help me. I found it on my own. Look at this. Plus Y and revive team. Are you impressed with my powers? We're playing this game in French because we all know that French culture is worth preserving and cherishing and stuff. Have I mentioned that I have hosted a French person at my house recently? Have I mentioned that I had a French person that was like, bonjour, you know? I actually played this game with him, and he was like, I am going to play this alone. And I'm like, I have proselytized, and I have turned another person to Expedition 33, you know?
Une tempête approche.
I have purchased my medication. I can feel myself being less mentally ill by the minute, you know? I put it to French yesterday before I got the medication. I noticed that Glitchmaster is not here. Have you? Where is the Greaterade? Where is Dr. Jones? Where are all the wonderful people that are my favorite viewers? You know? It's okay. We're actually having a crowd tonight. So we're gonna get to a save point and we're gonna do some news. We're actually having quite the crowd tonight. Maybe it's because people love French. You are one of my favorites. You are my community manager, aren't you? You should invite people to come here to the page. En garde.
Une pluie de flammes.
You know what I mean? Mon Dieu. I died. Aha!
La chroma coule.
Je m'en occupe.
Mon Dieu!
La chroma coule. Je suis prête.
Look at this. Aha! What do you think? Am I not doing excellent moi in this game? Look at this. Let's get to the next save point and then we do news. Because I've got some exciting things for you. Wait, what?
Une tempête approche.
Sans la brûlure.
Montre-moi ce que tu sais faire.
Je m'en occupe.
Oh my god. We're calling in the second team. Hello. Excellent moi. Oh, Monoko learned a new skill. So I guess it's good that team number 1 died, so that Monoko could learn the skill, right? I did it on purpose, actually. I lost the first team on purpose so that Monoko could come in and learn the skill. I didn't screw up. I don't screw up. You know what I mean? I never screw up. I'm not a screw up.
En défense.
Who's having a divorce?
Et c'est reparti.
Gustav's homage. Oh my god. Are you seeing this? This is crazy. This is insane.
Une tempête approche.
Attention.
Attention. Oh my god. Attention.
Tout ce potentiel. Voilà.
On
Okay,
les
let's go. Look at this. Endbringer.
C'est fini.
Wow.
Attention. Il génère de la chroma. Perso, esquive.
Versa. Come on. Aha. Look at this.
Voilà notre chance.
I'm doing it.
Attention.
Attention, mon ami. Assortiment.
Cible marquée.
Sans la brûlure. Survie, s'il te plaît.
S'il vous plaît, let's go. We kill. Alright. Oh, there are 17 people. Does that mean that I should now rant about how Final Fantasy Remake is crap? You know? Is that a good audience for this? For my rant? How it's a sequel, how it made a joke out of the story of the original, you know, all that fun stuff. There's a content creator that
Voilà qui devrait aider.
became really famous for it. And I actually agree with all of what he's saying, so, you know. I'm gonna be like that person, but Polish. And angrier. Because Polish people are angrier than Americans. Americans cannot compare to my anger, you know? Polish people are all dark side users. Malaki, you speak my language. We're still gonna finish it on stream though. You know? Wait till we get to Rebirth, by the way. Because Remake is apparently the good game out of the two. Rebirth is the crap game. So look forward to that. If you hated Remake, then just wait till we get to Rebirth.
Et elle apprend à ses enfants à peindre.
Poundre. Poundre is pain. Poundre. I hate Crisis Core because the scene of Zack's death is made far better in the original. Because it's more, you know, dramatic, it's more shocking. Like, the whole point is that Zack was distracted to help Cloud and was just unceremoniously shot and killed. Without big speeches, without, you know, any drama. Bam! And he was gone. Forever, you know? Does that make sense? Like, the shock of that, it was like the good part. Does that make sense? Am I making actually sense? Like, he was kind of winning, kind of getting away, and then he looked after Cloud, and that cost him his life. You know? Tell me it makes sense, right?
C'est fini.
I actually want to find a save point and do the news. But we're trying to talk about ice.
Gaupaka kiko mau, naru potkira. Eso gaga wera como. Kibo.
Yes, I get it. Nobody likes you. Fight the merchant. Alright. Mael. What the? What was that? Have you? Okay, I'm gonna drink some Pepsi. Fight the merchant again. Wow. What do you call when you What do you call it when you remake yourself? You call it new, not redesign. When you, oh my god, Malaki, help me. How do you say? What do you say when you remake yourself? You redefine your, not redefine yourself. Oh, come on, Malaki, help me. Anybody, help me. What do you say when you say you redefine? You kind of remake yourself. No, not rebuild. Like when you get new clothing and you kind of, you know what I mean? You something re yourself. Makeover. Reinvent. There you go. Thank you. Thank you, Malaki. Reinvent. The word is reinvent, okay? Reinvent. I'm gonna go to a second-hand store and get a bunch of new clothing, you know? And I'll be reinvented.
Une pluie de flammes.
How does that sound? Oh my god. Okay, we will defeat this merchant no matter what, okay? I have a grudge against this merchant now. Alright, let's do this.
Dansons.
Bang! Aha! I won! And I took 0 damage. How do you like this? You
Imanoko. Temaki.
trade. Energizing cleanse. Dispels the first negative status effect received and gains 2 AP. Sure. Oh, I cannot afford it. Whatever. You know?
Uro?
I am woke. Of course I'm broke. What do you mean? It comes with the territory. It comes with being... Okay, let's get out of here and save. Let's not make any tomfoolery anymore. We're gonna do some news. You know what I mean? What do you mean you don't know what I mean? Also, who is in the YouTube chat? I don't see anybody talking. Is everybody just lurking? Alright, let's do this. Let's upgrade attributes and then let's do the thing. How does that sound? Alright. Rest. Good? Are we doing good? I feel like I'll be able to beat all side content this time. Alright, let's finish this. I have some good news for you, okay? I have some excellent moi news for you. And that news is that I have some interesting content. As in content, I say news. And by news, I say, you know. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, I have to turn on Discord because Peck Alec Carl Parker has sent me something to cover, and that's going to be on of epic proportion. You know what I mean? Mon ami. Let's turn this off for now. And let's go to Fake Alec Carl Parker. Okay. Are you watching stream, Fake Alec Carl Parker? You watching? You watching? Mosiao X. Okay, let me get on this thing called news. Lucy Hazel, Odyssey, no, not wrong thing. Where's my news thing? Where is it? There you go, I found it. So we will... What's wrong with my mouse? Have you seen what's wrong with my mouse? Okay, I'm gonna copy this link that Monsieur Peck Alec has linked me, because this is interesting. Okay, segment 1. Fake Alec Carl Parker gave me some material for segment 1. You will be the judge if it's good or bad, okay? It's Instagram content. Instagram content is always best content or something. What? Oh wait, I cannot. Sorry, Fake Alec Carl Parker, but I don't have Instagram on this computer, so I guess we'll have to do some other content. Sorry. Whoops. Hello, Greater Rain. How are you tonight? We have to do a different content, but it's okay. It's okay. I am completely unprepared. That's par for the course for me. How is your life tonight, Greater Rain? I can feel myself being less and less mentally ill. Oh my god. Ooh, Tusk met with Zelensky. Okay. This is actually something that I want to read in real time, and because my mom called me about it. My mom called me about Zelensky meeting with Tusk. So we're gonna read about it and we're gonna discuss it, I guess. We're gonna comment on it. We're gonna do a few news things and then I'm gonna bail. And then I'm gonna bounce, as they say. Lucy, do you not have a light? My light bulb died and I didn't buy a new one. I have not bought a new one yet, okay? I spent all my light bulb money on medication. I spent all my light bulb money on antidepressants. Alright, let's do this. Let's set the browser, okay? Let's not dilly-dally. Let's talk about Zelensky for a moment. And Tusk. Who do you like more, Zelensky or Tusk? Who's the more handsome fellow? This is Tusk. This is okay. Zelensky's the more handsome fellow. I don't even need to ask that question. Clearly, Zelensky is the more handsome fellow. Okay, between these two anyway. All right, let's jump in. I don't think Tusk has ever been. Whatever. I should not comment on people's looks. I'm not the best looking person. Okay, I should not. Tusk greeted Zelensky at 5 p.m. on Wednesday, which was, I'm gonna check, yesterday. That was yesterday. So Zelensky met Tusk at 5 p.m. Right. Zelensky. Tusk greeted Zelensky at 5 p.m. on Wednesday, shortly after the Ukrainian head of state landed in the eastern Polish city of Lublin. This is very important because Poland and Ukraine have been hating on one another for some time now over Zelensky calling a military unit after the UPA, which Poland hates UPA, and it led to a whole drama. And actually, recently, when I was in Ukraine, there was a fixer that goes with journalists to the front line, and he joked, "Oh, you're from Poland, so do you hate Ukrainian people?" So there you go. There's been this weird lingering tension between Poland and Ukraine, fermented by the Polish president, Karol Nawrocki, the chief censor of historians, ironically enough. I could get into it, but I will not. That's a story for another segment, for another stream. Why the Polish president censored the Holocaust history, or rather, the Holocaust historians, Polish ones specifically, that said that Polish people actually were complicit in the Holocaust. Let's not get into it. We're not talking about the Holocaust today. We're talking about Zelensky and Ukrainian Polish relations. On the agenda was a briefing by Zelensky of his trip to the US Capitol and meeting with President Donald Trump. Tusk's office said before the talks, Zelensky left the meeting venue shortly after 6 p.m. Wait, it was just a 1 hour meeting? That was not a long meeting. That's like an hour meeting is not long at all. Conversation with President Volodymyr Zelensky about the outcomes of his visit to the United States and the security of Poland, Ukraine, and all of Europe. Well, Poland is not waging war right now, so I don't know. Like feels like stolen valor to me. You should be sending troops and shooting down missiles. Kyiv has been heavily bombed when I was leaving Ukraine, so it's crazy what's happening. In addition to Zelensky informing Tusk about his talks in the US, the two leaders discussed Polish investments in Ukraine, anti-ballistic cooperation. Oh, yes, okay, anti-ballistic cooperation. What does that include? Does that mean that finally Poland is going to shoot down drones and missiles above Ukraine? Is that the type of cooperation that I've been saying for years now should be happening? Is it about to actually happen? No way. There's no way in hell that's actually what's happening. I'll believe it when I see it. That's the only type of anti-ballistic cooperation that I can accept, realistically speaking. Anything else, anything other than that will be just underwhelming, I think. Right? And support for Ukraine in its fight against the Russian aggressor. Tusk posted on the X platform after the meeting. White House talks. Okay, White House talks was probably more fluff than anything because Trump just says things. It doesn't mean anything. Until you see Trump actually do things, his words are not worth much. Unless it's about Iran, then you can count on him doing something really unhinged. Unless it's about him winning the war in Iran, then you can go back to the default and treating every single word of his like worth nothing. The Ukrainian president visited Washington on Tuesday to attend the funeral of Lindsey Graham, a Republican senator and staunch pro-Ukrainian voice in Congress. Actually, the last thing that Lindsey Graham did in life was to push for a sanctions package. Did you know that? That was his last deed in life. He was like, let's push this sanctions against Russia package. Okay, I have done my thing. I can now go and rest in peace or rest in pieces. Apart from that thing, apart from him being very pro-Ukraine, he was a horrible human being apparently. So I think people are not really upset about his passing in general, you know? It seems like people are not super upset with him being gone. While in the US Capitol, Zelensky also met Trump for talks, which included a US proposal for Ukraine to produce Patriot air defense missiles locally under license. It's a bit more complicated than that with those missiles because it'll take years to actually create the infrastructure to be able to produce them in Ukraine. And apparently it's not the best types of Patriots which will be manufactured in Ukraine. So it's a bit less wonderful and amazing than it seems on first glance, the whole situation with the Patriot missiles. Warsaw has forwarded a related proposal to Washington that would see Poland involved in the Patriot production deal, potentially manufacturing the weapons on its own territory to safeguard against Russian airstrikes. That is an interesting thought. Polish officials have argued that manufacturing the munitions on NATO territory would enhance the security of production facilities while also shortening delivery times. I mean, those arguments are true. But how long would it take for Poland to build the necessary infrastructure to do that? Like, just how long would it take for Poland? I know it'll take years for Ukraine, but how long will it take for... It definitely won't happen overnight as well, so... Diplomatic standoff. Wednesday's meeting was the first between the two leaders since a diplomatic rift opened up between Warsaw and Kyiv over differing interpretations of history. I don't think there's really different interpretations of history. I just think that both sides are looking at different aspects of perfectly well understood history. I don't even think there's a case for different interpretations of history here, but whatever. The dispute, which centers on the World War II era massacre of Poles by Ukrainian nationalists, has coincided with an upsurge in anti-Ukrainian sentiment in Poland, which is pretty disgusting. People have been attacked in public, children have been attacked in public. The president of Poland has failed to denounce any of these attacks. Things are always getting worse, as I've noticed, but, well, you know, whatever. That is the world that we live in, I suppose. Many right-wing nationalist figures in Polish politics have been accused of stoking animosity, against which backdrop a 30% year-on-year uptick has been recorded in the number of hate crimes reported to police by Ukrainian citizens. Yeah, and it's true, those far-right politicians are absolutely doing that. They are absolutely doing that. Many right-wing nationalist figures, blah blah blah, we've read this. There have also been numerous high-profile reports of violence against Ukrainians in Poland since the onset of diplomatic differences. That includes, like, very weird and vile attack on Ukrainian children. Verbal attacks, at least. It's not physical attacks, it's verbal attacks, but still. People are being harassed on the public transport, on the street, at the store. There have also been numerous high-profile reports of violence against Ukrainians in Poland since the onset of diplomatic difference. In an X post after Wednesday's meeting with Tusk, Zelensky focused mainly on the security aspect of the talks, but also made reference to the strained relations and social friction. Prime Minister Donald Tusk and I met in Lublin. We discussed many bilateral issues, including the historical dialogue between our countries. I spoke about our diplomatic work in Washington. We also discussed defense cooperation and key matters related to protecting our cities.
Less procedures than during our meeting with the coalition of the willing, etc.
They should be saying Dobry Den to him. That's only it's common courtesy, you know? To try to reach out in the person's language. We discussed many we saw this in the... It is important that Ukrainians who have left their homes because of the war and found refuge in Poland feel safe. Yeah, exactly. It is important. So, I'm kind of hoping that this will mark the beginning of repairing relations between Poland and Ukraine, because there's only one country that benefits from Ukraine and Poland being at odds, and that is, of course, the Russian Federation. That is something that the Russian Federation wanted from the very beginning, for relations between Poland and Ukraine to be strained. And the reasons why that is are pretty obvious. I don't even think I have to explain why Russia would like Poland and Ukraine to be at each other's throats, right? Like, do I have to explain it? No, I don't have to. I refuse. I refuse to explain it. Alright, that was a very interesting topic. I follow this. I follow this intensely and intently. Record number of Poles oppose Ukraine joining the... Oh, that is bad. That is a horrible, horrible turn of events. What is even the justification? 40%. See? Russia benefits from crap like that. We might as well tackle this topic as well. Why? Why? Why are people against it? I don't get it. Let's see what the justification is. This is going to be something really, really stupid. The proportion of Poles opposed to Ukraine joining the European Union has grown to 40%. Why? Only 50% of the Polish public now supports Ukraine joining the bloc. I mean, that's still more than not, okay? 50% is still more than 40%. But why has it grown to 40%? What are Polish people thinking of? I think Polish people should taste a bit of war, honestly. I think it's time for Poland to remember what it's like. Compared with 90% shortly after Russia's 2020 full-scale invasion, according to a poll published on Tuesday, the level of opposition to Ukraine joining the 27-member bloc was 23 percentage points higher than the previous survey. Of those who favor Kyiv joining the EU, only 9% of respondents voiced support for Kyiv's accession as quickly as possible, which is also the lowest result in the history of the pollsters' research and 9 percentage points lower than in 2023. A further 41% said they supported an unhurried accession for Kyiv, down 15% points from 2023. But why? I want to see some sort of justification for these numbers. I want to see like a reasoning. The research was conducted as Poland and Ukraine experienced a period of fraught relations. A diplomatic standoff began in May over historical grievances. Don't tell me it's about those historical grievances crap. Come on, don't tell me it's about, oh, because we cannot agree on history, Ukraine should not join the European... That's stupid. Come on, don't tell me that it's all about that. Because that would make me very disappointed in Poland. That would be such a bad moment for Poland. Such a disappointment. International aid. The survey also... Oh, there's not going to be any justification. There's not going to be any rationale. There's not going to be any reasoning given, apart from historical grievances. The survey also asked respondents about their opinions on international aid for Ukraine and its war effort. This one's big. This one's important. Like, if Polish people are smart at all, if Polish people have any sense of self-preservation, then as many Polish people as possible should be pro-aid to Ukraine, but we'll see. The results were mixed, oh god, with 39% of those polled saying they considered the level of military, humanitarian, and financial support granted by the West to be adequate. Okay, it's not adequate. Of the remainder, more respondents, 27%, believed it was excessive than insufficient. More than half of the respondents, 55%, expressed they believe that Kyiv will ultimately have to make territorial concessions in order to achieve peace, reflecting a majority view that has held since December 2024. I hate Poland right now. I'm kind of growing an anti-Polish sentiment in real time. As a Polish person, I'm becoming very anti-Polish in real time. I'm so disappointed by these numbers. I'm so disappointed by Polish people. You don't understand how disappointed I am by this crap. You truly do not understand how disappointed I am by the fact that Polish people do not seem to grasp how important this war is for Polish security as well. Even if you want to be really cold and calculating about this crap, like, you do have to understand just how important for Polish security is for Ukraine to be able to defend itself, right? Like, this, it should be obvious, right? Come on, it should be very obvious. But apparently it's not. Apparently it's impossible for Polish people to grasp that. That's why they say that Ukraine should not be joining the European Union. It's ridiculous. It's very disappointing. This is very short news. I expected to be able to plunge more into this, but no, it seems like Polish people just threw their hands up and said, if we cannot agree on history, then we cannot agree on anything, which is ridiculous. I feel like Russia is getting exactly what it wants with this, but I'm only one person. I cannot make Polish people see reason. This is so classically Polish that's not even funny. It's not even funny just how deeply Polish this is. Hungary is gonna shut down its plant. I just cannot get over it. I cannot get over how much Poland is screwing up at every turn, always. Hello, Convenient Estelle. Are you as disappointed as I am? Oh, also I have a segment for. I have a weird segment to go over of my favorite debater. Believe it or not, I do not agree on racism with the person I often watch debates of, Jovan. You know? We're talking about Poland saying that, we're talking about 40% of Polish people saying that Ukraine should not be joining the European Union. No, 40% of Polish people say that that Ukraine should not be joining the EU. Poland is already in the European Union. Is it time to invade Poland yet? Yes, actually, unironically, yes. Yes, it's time. Okay, it's time for Poland to remember how it is to be at war. Okay, it's time. Maybe it's time for Polish people to wake up and, I don't know, smell the coffee. This is so ridiculous. This is so stupid. And the weirdest thing is that the sentiment does not go the other way around. When I'm in Ukraine, when anybody hears that I'm from Poland, everybody's very friendly and enthusiastic about it. Exactly. Exactly, Estelle. Wake up and smell the ashes because it's like, it's crazy. It's crazy out there. Like, everybody's so enthusiastic about me when they hear that I'm from Poland, but Polish people are just the worst. Scumbags. Whatever. Maybe I'm just being very, I don't know, negative. But it's infuriating, you know, it's just annoying. Can I say that it's annoying? Is it fair for me to say? Is it okay? Can I be forgiven? Putin thought Trump would just hang. Putin thought Trump would just hand Ukraine over to him. He was wrong. Was he wrong? I'm not so sure. Like, Trump is an unhinged guy. He may as well still do it. Okay? Look at what's happening with Iran. Trump might still yet give Ukraine to Putin. US President Donald Trump has, over the past months, radically shifted his attitude toward Ukraine. It doesn't mean anything. Like, Trump changes his opinion like a blade of grass in the wind. It doesn't mean anything that he changed this. Like, I don't care about his attitude. I care about his actions. And his actions have not really reflected in any pro-Ukrainian stance. Oh no, his attitude has shifted. What does that mean for Ukraine? How did that materialize in any... Okay, his attitude has shifted. Does that mean that he will now push for aid for Ukraine? Is he now gonna send billions upon billions of dollars to Ukraine? No, of course not. Like, is he going to shift all those MAGA idiots to vote for any aid that is going to be on the floor? Is MAGA now becoming pro-Ukraine? They're all going to be like, yes, I'm going to vote for a 60 billion gazillion aid package. Mm. Mm. What is it? Yeah, that works actually. That actually works. But yes. Like, it doesn't mean anything that his attitude has changed. Am I being crazy for saying that? What do you think? Am I being crazy? Like, until I see billions of dollars flowing, I just don't care, right? Like, just what is the meaning of this? The meaning is that it's meaningless. I think, right? Yeah, I know. This just, who cares? I want to send this to somebody. Like, I really don't care about his attitude changing. Mm. Mm. Jesus Christ. You need more faith in our dear leader. I have shown too much faith. Okay, I've shown too much faith in that bastard. Also consider donating or subscribing because I'm poor. I'm planning to go get a new wardrobe, okay? Next week. I'm gonna go to a second-hand thing and I'm gonna get like a... you know? So I need your support to be able to... I'll go to a second-hand. So that's gonna be cheap. And if you are very gracious and supportive, then I will present myself to you in my new wardrobe. I will reinvent myself, you know? I need to reinvent myself. All right. I've done my PSA. I did my PSA about what do you call it? Used clothing. Okay. With the pivot widely interpreted as an attempt to cash in on Kiev's recent battlefield successes as midterms approach, and the war against Iran seems nowhere close to ending, of course. Meanwhile, fears that Russia's Vladimir Putin will easily manipulate Trump into handing Ukraine over to him failed to materialize. Was it ever possible, or has Putin just missed his chance? I mean, I would like to remind you that aid is still not being given. So, like, Trump is still blocking aid. Trump is not really supporting Ukraine in any meaningful way. the entirety of the MAGA movement is still anti-Ukraine, so let's not get overexcited, okay? Let's not get excited by this development. In fact, I'm so not excited by this development that I'm gonna go to the toilet. Yeah, Trump can be relied on to change his mind constantly, and that is annoying as hell. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna be right after everybody. I'm gonna be doing some things that you should not know. I'll be right back. I'm gonna pee, okay? I'm not a very open person. I'm open about what I do. I'm gonna be right back. I've returned from the toilet. Alright? I have returned. Alright. So, oof, God. I don't think he missed his chance at all, by the way. You always have a chance with Trump to screw things over. Oh, wait, there's a video. Trump miscalculated his ability to lure Putin in with business deals and improving bilateral. Okay, let's just watch, okay?
Hello and welcome
Hello.
to News in Depth with me, Ashim Kumar.
Alright, this is perfect. We're gonna be able to comment on what is being said. We're gonna be able to do rich an enriching commentary on this whole thing.
The US Senate has taken a major step toward tougher sanctions on Russia, while in Poland, former Prime Minister...
I don't know about that. Yeah, I know that there's a new sanctions bill, but the bill actually is... The bill is giving a lot of authority to Trump that he shouldn't have. So it became a little bit of a problematic bill that some people have voted against. And it's a whole mess. And it's like this dying legacy of this politician that has died 2 weeks ago. It's a mess. It's a mess. It's not really a reflection of Trump being any more anti-Putin or pro-Ukraine, in my opinion.
Mateusz Morawiecki.
Also, I will believe that his attitude has truly changed once I see aid flowing to Ukraine. That is the moment when I will believe, okay, something really has changed. We should get raided? Yeah, by bots, I think. Got raided by bots and I don't know. Or lurkers, I don't know. Because none of them talk, so I feel like I'm being raided by lurkers and bots. But whatever, let's watch.
Is reshaping the opposition by launching a new parliamentary caucus. Joining me to discuss both developments is Adam Yasser. He's news director at TVP World. Adam, welcome back. Great to have you here again.
Thank you. Great to be with you again.
Pleasure. So before we kick off, as usual, a short soundbite I'd like to share and then get your view on it.
Well, we're very thankful to senators and we're very thankful for this discussion. The discussion was with details how to help Ukraine, and we are thankful that this bill is very important. Sanctions pressure on Russia is very important, and really it gives. It's not only about money, how to stop to finance this war, but it's also a big signal to Europe, big signal to Ukraine, big support of our people. So I'm very thankful. I hope that, God bless, we will have positive results.
Now there's President Zelensky in Washington talking about a sanctions bill that has passed through to the next stage. And he's saying it's very significant in terms of the message it's sending out. Well, what is that message and how significant is it?
Well, I think it reflects primarily that President Trump has probably lost hope that he can easily convince Vladimir Putin to treat any ceasefire talks or peace talks with Ukraine seriously. Putin has made absolutely zero concessions since Trump started to mediate, if you will, some kind of resolution. But there are other reasons behind this change of mind, if you will, on Trump's part. And of course, he had to informally...
Hello, Dr. Jones. No, you don't. You just need to do Resident Evil with me.
At least allow the senators to pass this sanctions bill.
Right.
And I think there are several factors at play here. One is Ukraine's military success. So this perception now widespread also in Washington, also among the Republicans, that Ukraine is maybe not winning the war, but at least able
Jesus, maybe not winning the war. God damn.
to hold on to its territory and successfully attack Russia's energy infrastructure.
Yeah, it's still not enough to make Trump give Ukraine aid. So people are being too optimistic about this. I really feel like people are being way too optimistic about this. Too much optimism.
So he's got some cards, using Trump's infamous words.
So finally he's got some cards.
Right.
The second reason is that there are obvious signs of Russia's weakness, fuel shortages, dissatisfaction with Putin, Putin's own nervousness, which was on display this Sunday when he spoke to commanders. He was talking about what happens if the war stops, if the special operation stops. He said, what are we going to do then? In a sense, he was trying to joke, but it reflects his anxiety about the Russian society realizing, if there is ceasefire, that he achieved absolutely nothing on the contrary, that Russia is in deep trouble because of the war. So there's this, and finally, and it definitely isn't a small factor in all this, is the Iran situation.
Right.
Because I think we can see that, in the words of Polish Foreign Minister Radosław Sikorski, who spoke to us yesterday, there are clear signs that the Ukraine war and the Iran situation are overlapping, that Iran and Russia...
I mean, Ukraine has started kind of attacking shipments from Iran to Ukraine, so it is true that the conflicts have started overlapping to a degree. It's starting to spill because Trump is such an incompetent leader that he is basically trying his best to manufacture a World War III situation or whatever. It's just, Trump is just such a president.
North Korea are cooperating against the United States.
Right. I mean, I want to get to the international aspect in just a second, but before we do, I'd just like to clarify something on the sanctions bill. Now, the Democrats, of course, in principle, have always been very supportive of Ukraine. However,
Lance from the Serbs commented on Ukraine. What did he say? It's been so long since I've heard anything from Lance from the Serbs. Lance from the Serbs has, generally speaking, had good opinions, right? What? Okay, I've changed my mind. Really? Did he say that? Ukraine dragging NATO and the EU into this war? What? Fuck me, man. Really? Lance. What the fuck, Lance? Can you link it? Can you link? Jesus Christ. I was like, Lance, generally speaking, has good opinions on stuff, but now I'm like, fuck me. God damn it, Lance. God damn it. Why did you have to go and do that? Be a dumbass. Oh, man. And I still haven't even taken my first antidepressant yet. And you're hitting me with this. You should donate because of that, you know? You should support me buying new clothing next week. It's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna stream in a new outfit. How does that sound?
There are murmurs that they're wary about supporting this particular bill because it gives Trump an inordinate amount of power. What do you think of that argument?
There you go. Actually, some people have voted against it because it gives Trump a lot of authority when it comes to sanctions that he should not have. I have heard this argument, and people have... Bernie Sanders voted against it because of that. So make of that what you will.
Well, this is internal U.S. politics.
Right.
So he basically agreed. The fact that he could not just answer this straight, the fact that he could not say, oh yeah, of course it gives Trump too much power. Of course, yeah, of course. The fact that he had to default to this, yeah, this is internal U.S. politics. Let's not even touch this with a 10-foot pole. Okay. Oh, 10-foot pole. Okay, great. Sometimes silence is deafening, you know? Sometimes you don't really need a straight answer to know what the person's really thinking. So obvious.
At the end of the day, it goes to the House of Representatives, it may get amended, whatever, doesn't matter.
Right.
Politically speaking, this is the first time that the US administration seems to be firmly on Ukraine's side.
No, that's no. No, I wouldn't go. No, I would not go that. No. I definitely would not go that far in this analysis. You could say that if Trump would be pushing for aid. Then I would agree that the administration is firmly on Ukraine's side. But no, I just don't agree.
Right.
Whether that lasts is another matter. But what I would like to point out is that, President Trump, in a sense, is under pressure as well here, because he promised to end...
What? Is it because of the midterms that are looming?
...this war quickly. Didn't happen. The midterm elections to Congress are approaching and he's vulnerable.
The Iran war.
On top of that, he promised Americans he would not get America entangled in another forever war.
Right.
Now this year...
Oh, he's the most incompetent president, but whatever.
Iran thing, one way or the other, looks like one of the forever wars, and it's spreading. It's spreading to Egypt. It's spreading to other parts of the Middle East.
Right.
And now there's a connection between the Ukraine conflict and Iran, because
Ukraine has attacked a shipment.
It turns out Russia has been supplying Iranians with intelligence.
Right.
And Iran has been supplying Russia with... I mean, we all know that Iran has been giving drones to Russia. Come on.
There was an incident in the Black Sea recently when an Iranian ship was attacked by the Ukrainians. And Iranians apparently threatened Ukraine with an attack, with a missile attack on one of the port cities. So, there is a risk of this spreading. And in other words, we see that the old axis of enemies of the US, combining Russia, Iran, North Korea, and China in the background, it's alive and kicking.
It is alive. I mean, I know you had a very interesting conversation with Polish Foreign Minister Sikorski yesterday, and he had a very interesting perspective on this. Share with us what he thought.
Well, he
Dr. Jean says Ukraine is in its facet. We ball phase and we're all for it. Yeah, true.
Made this point that these conflicts are overlapping and that China is just waiting for its opportunity and definitely isn't going to sort of put any pressure on Vladimir Putin to end the conflict in Ukraine.
Right.
So and again, today there was a report, I mean, these are reports, but it's not yet confirmed, that China is supplying some missiles to Iran as well. So, something which, Trump was, it seems to me that Trump was initially overconfident on what he can achieve with Russia.
Trump is always overconfident. That's just how Trump is. It doesn't seem like Trump was overconfident. Trump is overconfident in everything that he does. And also he lies a lot. That's a pretty interesting combination.
Russia. And then he let that's the perception of many analysts, that he let Israel push the United States into this attack on Iran in February. This was supposed to be a quick job, a special military operation of a kind, and it's still dragging on.
Yeah, everything that Trump does turns into a disaster. Who would have thought that a businessman that bankrupted several businesses would be incompetent at his job? Who could have predicted that?
Midterms are approaching. And also in the meantime, and maybe this is another interesting angle to this, is that Trump insisted the Europeans pay for Ukraine, sort of finance Ukraine, that they provide arms for Ukraine, and they're doing it. So also the role of the United States and him personally in whatever outcome there is going to be in Ukraine is also diminished. So in a sense, he's a victim of his own success and of his...
No, not success. I think more accurate description would be he's a victim of his own incompetence, but he bankrupted a casino, yeah. I mean, he's talented. It takes talent to bankrupt a casino. Fuck me, man. I cannot believe this. How do you do that? How do you bankrupt a casino? Fuck me.
His own doing.
Right. I mean, yes, absolutely. So the balls, the balls are very much all up in the air, and goodness knows how they're going to kind of fall.
One constant is that Putin still...
I actually want to look it up now. I want to look up how it even happened that he bankrupted a casino. That's going to be our next segment, which is going to be a historical segment. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of a blast to the past. We're going to look into it. Going to investigate it. Going to investigate how Trump has had the talent to bankrupt a casino.
Hasn't made a single step towards peace.
Right.
And I think that causes some nervousness about how he's going to behave, because he's a cornered animal in a sense, right? Things are going badly for him, and he's got, from his perspective, he only faces bad choices. Go into peace talks, and then there's the question mark, was it worth it for the Russian population?
Over 1 million casualties. And
the economy in ruin, sanctions still in place and may stay in place for a long time until this is all settled. Or escalate. But if he tries to escalate, that means he needs to conduct mass mobilization. If he conducts mass mobilization, he may face a revolt finally, like the Tsar in 1917. So, he increasingly faces only bad choices. But you asked about Minister Sikorski, and he made that point yesterday, that doesn't let him sleep at night.
Right.
That Putin is on the back foot, but someone who can do something rash and crazy, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, it's never that clear. It's never that cut and dry. Let me just say that.
Launching an attack on the Baltic states or whatever.
Are there any checks and balances, do you think, on what Putin does, or do you think he's...
In Russia?
Yeah.
I don't think
complete
so.
wild card.
As long as he controls the security apparatus.
Right. Because also there was a sense when Putin met Trump in Alaska that he was kind of manipulating Trump. It doesn't seem to have worked out that way, does it?
I think...
Kinda did, though. He did get a lot out of Trump.
So we'll talk...
I'll just remind again that at the end of the day, aid stopped flowing to Ukraine from the United States.
Talking about people miscalculating.
Right.
Trump miscalculated his ability to lure Putin in with business deals and improving bilateral relations, not realizing how deeply Putin is in bed with the Chinese, with the Iranians, and so on and so forth. And Putin miscalculated he took Trump's gestures, the red carpet in Alaska, refusing to condemn him as a war criminal, all these nice things he said about Putin. Putin took it too literally, not realizing that Trump's real objective was to finish the war and do some kind of a deal.
Right.
And so Putin miscalculated by offering absolutely nothing in Alaska and in the subsequent months. In the meantime, the Europeans are arming, providing support for Ukraine. So, strategically, Putin is
I don't think Europe is doing enough. I think this is way too optimistic, to be quite honest with you. All this is way too optimistic.
the loser. But as I said earlier, he's also a cornered animal,
Yes,
if you
he
will,
is. Yeah.
and he's very dangerous.
And also we see, of course, Trump giving Ukraine licenses to manufacture material.
But which type? And how long will it take for Ukraine to build the infrastructure? Why the rose-tinted glasses? Why? Like, can we be a little bit realistic about these topics? Can we be cold realists?
Material and so on. So, yeah, I think Putin must be, as you say, cornered.
But for Ukraine, there are risks as well.
Yeah.
Because Putin still seems to harbor this.
No, there are several types of Patriot missiles, is what I'm saying. Okay, there's not just one type of Patriot missiles. There's several types of Patriot missiles. Is what I'm saying. When I ask what type, I'm asking what type of Patriot missile.
Hope or this calculation that European support for Ukraine is going to crumble.
Right.
And that in the next round of elections in Europe, parties that are more sympathetic to him may win power in France, in Poland.
I just saw Fido. Interceptors, but just like there's several. As I understand it, Ukraine is not getting the top of the line Patriots. It's not getting the license to for the top of the line stuff. Is what I'm saying. And it will also take years for Ukraine to build the infrastructure. So this is not a solution for now. This is a solution for the future. This license is a thing that will benefit Ukraine in the future. But for now, Ukraine needs to be given those missiles. Does that make sense? Because it takes a lot of time to build up the manufacturing infrastructure for these things.
Maybe even in Germany, where the alternative for Germany clearly said they side with Putin over Ukraine.
Yeah,
so he's still counting on this moment when the European support for Ukraine is going to dwindle.
Yep.
And then he can perhaps achieve some kind of victory.
Yeah.
Well,
right.
we've seen from experience that, he's been hoping for that for the past 4.5
years.
He may well, he's still not there. But this is his dream. And there are some reasons for concern.
Yeah.
Another guest we had here a couple of weeks ago, the former Polish Prime Minister Bielecki, he said, there are risks that support for Ukraine in Europe has peaked. And he was using the discussion about the sanctions, the 21st package of sanctions, as an example where particular national interests are jeopardizing common support for Ukraine.
Right. Well,
that happens when you have several nation states that are not always, whose interests do not always align.
There's so much more I want to talk about, but in the last few minutes that we have left, Adam, there is something particularly exciting going on in Poland as well. We're having a fragmentation of the right. I think we have a very short soundbite that I'd like to share with you first.
Absolutely.
I am always happy for the fragmentation of the right.
We don't want to participate in any games. That's why together 40 MPs and 1 senator we decided to start a new caucus. We do not intend to work with anyone who supports Prime Minister Donald Tusk. There are many voters who, when asked who they are likely to vote for, say, I don't know, or I'll think about it. That's who we're hoping to reach.
Now that's former Polish Prime Minister, of course, Morawiecki, and he's up against the leader of PiS, who's also a former.
Yes, thank God the right is fracturing and falling apart in Poland. Oh God, that is actually bad news, because there's the more radical right wing that might actually benefit from this situation and scoop up the if the fairly moderate right wing is fighting against, it's like fighting internally, then the more radical right wing might take advantage of it and take the voters. So it feels like a double-edged sword. Whatever. This is such a I don't know, optimistic show.
Polish Prime Minister Jarosław Kaczynski.
So the battle of two prime ministers.
Battle of two prime ministers. Yes, the big guns are out, Adam. So tell me, what's going on here?
In a sense, this split inside the main opposition party, Law and Justice,
I
is
do like the fact that they're splitting, but I'm also worried about it. Kind of worried. Thank you for the link. We're gonna watch this in a second. Oh God, Lance, come on, Lance, no, don't do this to me, Lance. Oh, God, Lance.
is natural. It should have happened earlier, because in a sense, it represents two different visions of Poland. Mr. Morawiecki, the prime minister who we just saw on the screen, he represents the moderate, pro-business, pro-Western wing of the Polish conservative movement, if you will. So he's more like Poland's Giorgia Meloni, the Italian prime minister. Mr. Kaczynski, on the end, he's pro-Ukraine. He has been consistently pro-Ukraine. Now, Mr. Kaczynski has moved the party towards more radical positions.
Yeah, because there are more radical parties right now that are taking away the voters from the more, like, there are a few very radical right-wing parties right now in Poland that are starting to win over votes away from the Law and Justice Party because it is seen as too moderate.
He very often sounds...
Ukraine is dragging the US and NATO into a war. Wait, with Iran? Did Lance actually say that Ukraine is dragging the US into the war with Iran? Please don't tell me that Lance said something that's stupid. Please don't tell me. I'm begging you, please don't tell me that he said that.
As if he was driving Poland towards the exit from the European Union, for example. His rhetoric about the EU is very harsh, unlike Mr. Morawiecki's, who wants to change the EU, but he's not advocating for a divorce, if you will. And because as a business person, as someone who is also focused on the economy, on development, his grouping is called Development Plus, right? He focuses on development. So he realizes that Polexit would be a disaster for Poland, like it turned out to be rather bad for Britain, Brexit. So
yeah, Brexit was just bad.
So he's just more moderate and in a sense...
Has Lance from the Serbs only... Okay, it's like, I don't care about the Polish far right or whatever. We're not here for Polish politics. I want to see what the hell Lance from the Serbs has said. That's so stupid.
With the memes, right? The checks have dried up or whatever. I don't know. She's already looking for another vector. But the other question then becomes, why is she being given and granted so much access and directly interviewing Zelensky? And why is Zelensky saying so much weird, bizarre, and fucked up shit to Laura Loomer, of all people, the far-right fucking reactionary? And now, why is Ukraine trying to pull the United States and NATO into a war with Iran?
What?
On the behalf of the U.S. and Israel. That part is really like, Jesus Christ. It's all happening so quickly that I feel at the point of, trying to discuss it or be like, what's going on here? I'm going to wake up and then all of a sudden it's going to be like, oh yeah, so this is actually part of a broader war. Ukraine Zelensky said to meet Trump as Iran and Ukraine wars converge. What? I was like, wars converge. The U.S. Senate will vote Tuesday on Russian sanctions day after Ukraine attacked...
Hold on, I have to read this again.
It's starting to be like, what the fuck? I don't know if you saw recently. So Laura Loomer and Tim Pool.
Wait, hold on. So Ukraine is pulling the United States into the war with Iran on the behalf of the United States. What?
Are both super pro-Ukraine out of nowhere. Now that could probably be explained with the meme.
Tim Pool was being sarcastic, Lance. It was so obvious.
Right, the checks have dried up or whatever. I don't know if she's already looking for another vector. But the other question then becomes, why is she being given and granted so much access and directly interviewing Zelensky? And why is Zelensky saying so much weird, bizarre, and fucked up shit to Laura Loomer, of all people?
Wait, what did he say?
Fucking reactionary.
What did he say that's so fucked up?
And now, why is Ukraine trying to pull the United States and NATO into a war with Iran on the behalf of the U.S. and Israel? That
the United States is being pulled into a war with Iran on the behalf of the what? What the fuck? What, Lance? What? What, Lance?
That part is really like, Jesus Christ, it's all happening so quickly that I feel at the point of, you know, trying to discuss it or be like, what's going on here, I'm gonna wake up and then all of a sudden it's gonna be like, oh yeah, so this is actually part of a broader war. Ukraine's Zelensky said to me,
Jesus fuck, Lance. Lance has no clue about the war in Ukraine, so even after all this time, Tim still finds new ways to embarrass Lance from the surface. I know, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Trump as Iran and Ukraine wars converge. What? I was like, wars converge. The U.S. Senate will vote Tuesday on Russian sanctions day after Ukraine attacked an Iranian vessel in the Caspian Sea. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is expected to meet United States President Donald Trump in the White House on Tuesday, a meeting that could coincide with the introduction of tough new sanctions on Russia. Zelensky, who will attend the funeral of U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham, is also scheduled to meet.
Lindsey Graham was a huge supporter of Ukraine. And he pushed for the sanctions bill. He pushed for a bill that would sanction Russia. So it makes sense that Zelensky would attend the funeral. Even if Graham was a disgusting piece of shit in all other aspects, he was a supporter of Ukraine. So, yeah, it makes sense. I'm sorry.
Meet with the Senate on Tuesday evening, and Reuters news agency reported, citing two Senate aides. I mean, I'll say first and foremost that, you know, I 100%, and I haven't changed my position on this, think that it's fucked up and wrong and illegal that Russia has been invading Ukraine.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Lance, for this preamble.
War crimes.
But we hear the but's coming.
Atrocities, all that. Fuck Russia. No fan of Putin or Russia or any of the fucked up shit that they're doing.
But
I think pulling the entire world into a broader, full-scale war, especially one that is currently being engaged by the U.S. and Israel, two imperial fucking war criminal entities right now that are waging terrorism, destruction, and death upon the world, is a nightmare scenario of which I want no part in. And, you know, I don't want to suddenly blink and then it's like, oh, by the way, Canada has entered the war with Iran on the behalf of the U.S. and Israel. Sorry, what? Well, yeah, you know, Article 5, NATO.
What is Lance? What the fuck? Lance should just stop. Lance should just stop discussing international relations. I don't think you'll be getting all those surf raids anymore. Yeah, there's so many. I've been getting so many surfs. Thanks, Dr. Jones. I've been getting so many surf raids. I've been just swimming in them.
We got to be a part of it now. So this is all happening. The vote on Russian sanctions legislation has been pending for months and was championed by Graham. Could happen later that day.
Jesus Christ, Lance should just stop discussing international politics because I don't think it's a good fit for him, honestly. I think Lance is punching above his weight with this one.
In Ukrainian bomb shelter, Laura Loomer explains the shift on the Russian war. It's Jigsaw.
In American politics, and Joe Biden was in the.
Oh, the video player is not great. Okay, I can't make it any louder. I'm sorry. I can describe what happens. It's like a scene from the movie Saw. In comes Jigsaw. Immediately is like, do you want to play a game? Seems kind of inappropriate given the material and the stakes.
There you go. That's about the level of commentary on international affairs that I expect from Lance. Talking about the Saw movies.
Ukraine. It's been almost 5 years now. And, you know, the American people didn't get to take a vote on whether we wanted to send $200 billion of our taxpayer dollars to Ukraine. I started using Telegram in like 2019 when I got banned on Facebook and Instagram. But I continued using it and building it, and one of the main accounts that I would follow on Telegram was RT. When I started to see a lot of these woke right, as I call them, podcasters in the United States turn on President Trump and, you know, start to spew a lot of anti-Semitic rhetoric, I started thinking, wow, where are people getting their information from? This is just so crazy.
What?
And
weird. Laura Loomer became infamous for spreading conspiracy theories online. Now she travels across Ukraine to see the damage inflicted by Russia in the years-long war. She wanted to admit that they fell for some falsehoods of her own. A close ally of President Trump. You don't need to listen to the podcaster. Loomer has remained influential with Trump despite not having an official role. She said she spoke over the phone and sat down with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. I guess the through line here happens to be part of the broader Zionist project because Zelensky is pro-Israel. He has stated that emphatically. I think it's really
When? What? Are you... What? When? Okay, when? What? What the fuck? There's been a lot of tension between Israel and Ukraine. Israel has been refusing to send any military aid to Ukraine. Hold on. What? What the fuck is he saying? Yeah, what about the stolen grain thing? What the fuck? Lance?
unfortunate because, like, you know, this is a situation where I think Ukraine is being illegally invaded by Russia.
He's a Zionist? Where did he even get that?
On the behalf of the Ukrainians.
What, is it because he's Jewish?
I think it's really unfortunate because I guess the through line here happens to be part of the broader Zionist.
Is it because Zelensky's Jewish that he has to be automatically a Zionist?
Project because Zelensky is pro-Israel. He has stated that emphatically. I think it's really unfortunate because, like, you know, this is a happens.
Did I misheard Lance?
Infamous for spreading conspiracy theories online. Now she travels.
Maybe I misheard him.
Now she travels across Ukraine to see the damage inflicted by.
Maybe I'm being unfair. Maybe I'm being unfair to Lance. Hello, Emily. Maybe I'm being unfair to Lance from
the years-long war. She wanted to admit that they fell for some falsehoods of her own. A close ally of President Trump. You don't need to listen to the podcaster. Loomer has remained influential with Trump despite not having an official role. She said she spoke over the phone and sat down with Ukrainian President.
What the fuck, Lance?
Vladimir Zelensky. I guess the through line here happens to be part of the broader Zionist project because Zelensky is pro-Israel. He has stated that emphatically. I think it's really unfortunate because, like, you know, this is a situation where I think Ukraine is being illegally invaded by Russia, and then the representative on the behalf of the Ukrainian people, someone whom I take a lot of issues with, and I think it's abhorrent to try and side with Israel, another imperial fucking destructive nation, while at the same time advocating for the world to unite against Russia. The West.
Everybody has such amnesia about the fact that it makes perfect sense for Ukraine to be against Iran, considering that Iran has been providing Russia with drones and military technology, and that Ukraine has attacked that vessel because it had a shipment of weapons to Russia. Where do you think the Shahid drones came from, Lance?
West is already, by the way. I've seen people try and make this comparison where it's like, well, don't you want to remain principled, Lance? Did you not? Are you not consistent in this? I think that Canadians should be treating both countries in the same respect. And I was like, oh, they absolutely don't. So here's how this goes. That would mean that we don't arm Russia. We don't. We do not arm Russia. We're not doing that. We do arm Israel. So yeah, we don't. We're actually the exact opposite. It's the exact opposite direction in Canada. Like if it was like, hey, by the way, I think that everyone should, take this just as seriously. You should call upon the same standards, and it's okay. Canada does not fund the Russian military. Don't do that. Don't sell them arms. Don't have a direct partnership. We don't do that. We're not doing that. But we seem to do that no problem when it comes to Israel. Loomer blamed her indoctrination on getting banned by American social media platforms, leading her to try Telegram, where Russian media is widely shared. The Russians, she added, are very good at capitalizing on people's rage, and I was very angry, she said, recounting her feelings about the 2020 election, which she falsely maintains was stolen from Trump. She said her change in perspective has been gradual. She starts to see podcasters like Tucker Carlson turn on President Trump while having their rhetoric amplified by Russian sources. By the way, fuck them all is really my policy here. If you're wondering, like, oh, so who should we align ourselves with? Who's the better person? No, fuck them. They're all
okay.
Terrible, horrifying right-wing reactionaries. They have not changed. They're also opportunists. They will find different opportunities at different moments in history to be like, okay, well, where do I think both money and finances are going to lie, but also access, also the ability to speak, like, to world leaders, which is pretty wild. I mean, it's pretty...
Why is he mixing up those topics so weirdly? Like, what does Loomer have to do with Ukraine's attack on the Iranian vessel and supposedly pulling the United States into a war with Iran on the behalf of the US, which this statement just makes no sense. Maybe there's something I'm missing.
Shameless and shameful to sit down with Laura fucking Loomer, of all people, homophobe, racist, transphobe, like, just, again, we're talking about, like, a Nick Fuentes. Like, if someone sat down with Nick Fuentes... Hunter Biden? Oh, yeah. Sat down with Nick Fuentes, I'd be like, hey, what's going on here? That's pretty fucked up. This doesn't, like, make or open you up to, a broader audience. This normalizes Nick Fuentes. The same thing with here. This tries to normalize.
Fuck me, Lance is so just... Lance is so chronically online. Oh no, Zelensky should not sit down with this person. She's a homophobe. Jesus
Christ. Laura Loomer in the opposite direction. Fucked up.
Fuck me. Privilege. Probably he's been ignoring Ukraine topic until now because he wants an easy dunk on Loomer. Yeah. Like, what the fuck?
In the age of AI.
What the fuck, Lance? Okay. Lance should never open his mouth on this topic ever again. That is my... Just... What the fuck? Ah, yes. I will not sit down with you, lady. You're too homophobic. It's just, what the fuck? Lance is so out of touch. I just cannot believe. Alright. We have done this. What would we like to do now? Dr. John says, don't worry. He won't. Until someone else he doesn't like does something related to Ukraine. I know, this is just so unserious. This is so unserious. This is so deeply unserious. Whatever, I'll be taking my first antidepressive medication today. Dr. Jones, are you home? Are you home, Dr. Jones? We should react to a YouTube video, actually. To cleanse our palates. What the hell, Dr. Jones? What? Black with even more umami flavor? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you, President Sunday?
This calls Agamemnon's finest hour.
Oh my
Done
god.
it under you or under anybody else?
The Odyssey. The Odyssey, the book that people should read in high school or something. President Sunday is proud of reading now as a 30-something-year-old. It's just, Jesus. The high school lecture. Well, I'm sorry I have to work 10 to 20 hours a day. Listen, you should be playing Resident Evil 6 12 to 10 to 12 hours per day. That's what you should be doing, okay? If we're being honest, if we are to be honest, that is what you should be doing. Holy shit, the line has like 800. Oh wait, no, that's actually normal for the line. Never mind. That's actually pretty normal for the line. They have that many viewers. Because the movie is the latest battlefield of cultural war. Exactly! Like, I cannot be stuck on Resident Evil 6 forever, Dr. Jones. I have to move on to the next Resident Evil games, and I cannot. I cannot, because you don't want to play it with me. The hell's going on, Dr. Jones? What the hell? You should at least go to the page and support me, okay? In some way. Because I want to reinvent myself by going to a second-hand clothing store, and I cannot afford it right now. You know? You know what I mean? What the hell is this? Oh, we're gonna play Rebirth. Don't worry. I started watching X-Men 97 on Disney Plus. It's exciting. I'm gonna watch the second episode tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah, boy. And I'm gonna watch the third episode. God damn, I'm on a roll. Look, it's my theme song. $7. That's my theme song. Dr. John said so, at least. Right? But why did the audience become so quiet all of a sudden? What's wrong, everybody? Holy shit, 2.8 thousand viewers live. Who is this Parker Get a Job fellow? Who the hell is this? Who the hell is this guy? By the way, I actually disagree. I actually, believe it or not, disagree with... Oh, I didn't know that. Damn. Maybe I should stream Legend of Legaia. I didn't know that... God, what didn't I know? Oh, wow. I could do a controversial react because I actually disagree with Jovan Bradley on racism. Maybe I should debate him on racism because I actually disagree with him on racism. Like, there are certain things that he says that I just flatly disagree. You know? Zepla is playing Final Fantasy with 90 viewers. Should I go back to Final Fantasy 14? I'm gonna start should I stream FF14? Because I miss FF14. I started streaming as an FF14 streamer actually on YouTube. Believe it or not. And then the invasion happened and I pivoted to more politics. Yeah, that actually happened. What the... Oh my god, $100? Thank you, Dr. Jean. Thank you so much. Oh my god, now I can really get some... I'm gonna use some of it to buy... Oh my god, I can actually really get some clothing next week then. Holy crap. I'm gonna be reinvented. I wanna buy some gender-neutral stuff, but maybe I'm gonna buy something risque. Like apparently a pencil dress might be good for me. Like a pencil dress. That's a cool thing to think about. Oh my god. This is going to be awesome. I'm gonna stream in new outfits, okay? I'm gonna stream in new outfits. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be wholesome. I'm gonna write my companion for clothing. I only got 1%. Also, I'm gonna make manga for Patreon. Thank you for the $15. Thank you for validating my opinion on Lance's bad take on Ukraine. Your reaction was similar to mine, except for the parts where you had counterfacts because you're smart. Thank you. Thank you. Like, what the hell, Lance? What the hell, Lance? Like, what the fuck? Kellen Burns should react to this. To this Lance bit, okay? And tell him, Lance, you know? Like, what the fuck, Lance? Like, I did not, what? Oh, God. I'm getting annoyed. I thought it was so funny how you were like, Lance has good opinions. Then I tell you what he said. Like, come on. I was about to say the only weak spot for Lance is his debates because he had this disastrous debate with Lauren Southern about the Canadian schools that genocided Native Americans, right? Those boarding schools. He had a horrible debate with Lauren Southern about it. Why does Lance have Dylan Burns blocked? What did Dylan Burns do to Lance? What the fuck? What did Dylan Burns do to Lance? What the fuck? What? Really? What? What happened? Why? Why? What the hell? Lucy not getting invited to the leftist mafia now. Oh yeah, because I was getting so invited before. My invite is pending in the mail. I'm sure. My invitation is pending in the mail. Damn. I just cannot believe. I just cannot believe. Why do people in the leftist circles get so horrible when it comes to Ukraine? Like of course I'm against the invasion. Of course they think Russia bad, but like, but also take part in the poll on the YouTube. If I should play some more FF14. Also, I have to watch My Adventures with Superman. You know, this is a pretty good show apparently, My Adventures with Superman. America Bad? Oh yeah. Like I just cannot I'm sorry, like how dare Zelensky sit down with this reactionary person who's too reactionary for me? Like, come on. Are we being serious right now? But this person's so right-wing. How dare Zelensky sit down? Come on. Like, let's be serious a bit. Right? Damn. Who's watching boring college football 27 gameplay? Who watches this? Glitchmasa says Dylan has no idea why he was blocked. Wait, Dylan Burns mentioned being blocked by Lance? On stream I did catch Lance throwing shade at streamers who focus only on Ukraine. Gee, I wonder who he's subbing. Wait, what? Why? I watch college football 20 years. Really? Maybe I'm being too rude. Have you heard of an artist called Jim Lee, by the way? A comic book artist called Jim Lee. Jim Lee is a very good artist. Jim Lee is a very good artist. If you want an American comic book artist that is very nice, very good artist, then Jim Lee is your person. Wait, so did Dylan Burns mention being blocked by Lance on stream? That is so bizarre. Dylan Burns was the organizer of this debate that Lance had against Southern. I want to know why you disagree with Jovan. Probably because you're racist. I disagree with his opinion that black people cannot be racist. I disagree with Jovan's. But he goes into really strange places. Should I just react to his debate about racism and explain? Yes, Dylan did. That's how I know. Really? Wait, when did Dylan Burns mention being blocked by Lance? And where is he blocked? Is it Twitter or something silly? Okay, well, if you want, I'll go to the toilet, and if you want, we can watch the debate, because, like, Jovan says that if white people were enslaving black people, then black people hating all white people is justified. And I'm like, no? What? No. No, it's not. What do you mean? No? Okay, we're gonna... I can get into it, but, you know. Should I? I go to the toilet and you tell me if I should get into it. Because YouTube is run by AI and bots. That's why. Be right back. Yeah, it's AI nonsense. I'll be right back. Okay, I'll get into it then. Like I mostly agree with him when it comes to the subject, but there's some aspects that I don't know. I would like to hear elaboration from him because they're weird. You know? Wait, to get what on PlayStation Store? I don't like sports games much, so... Like, I don't know. It's just, there's a few limited exceptions when it comes to the whole sports games thing. Virtua Tennis, I can play because it's like very arcadey, fast paced, and like you play 5 minutes and you can put it away. Oh, I've kind of, had a few minutes of fun. But most sports games are just boring and not really good. Emily says, well, Steam is all digital. We don't own any of our Steam games, do we? Yeah. And Sony just announced that it's pulling away from physical copies of games. Sony is going full digital now. just saying. Okay, just saying. Sony is actually going fully digital now. They're discontinuing all their physical media. Just saying. I'm not sure if my viewers are aware of the fact that Sony is discontinuing physical media and is going full digital. Alright. We're gonna do the racism thing then. Because I'm... Like, they're this... Alright, let's see. Nightfall is gonna have like... I'm gonna watch this. Batman Nightfall. It might be pretty good. Have you read Nightfall? The comic book? Whatever. None of you have read it. Wait, Brianna Wu talks about... God damn. Brianna Wu is active again. You might have to watch this. Okay, so... This is like... We're gonna be listening to this and I'll tell you which parts I disagree with, okay? I'm gonna tell you which parts I agree with. I'm gonna tell you which parts I disagree with, okay? None of us read Lucy except maybe Estelle. Oh. You read. Reed Richards. Alright, let's go. Like, I did not expect to disagree with Jovan on this, but you know what? We are here we are. Here we go. Is this my being cancelled moment? Am I about to be cancelled? Is this the moment when I'll be cancelled forever? We'll see. Okay, we'll see. We'll cross that bridge. Well, when we get there.
Let's take our next caller. We're going to take Dennis from Oregon. Dennis from Oregon.
I
Dennis.
should get a hoodie. I wonder if they sell hoodies at the... They sell everything in the secondhand store, so maybe I will get a hoodie as well. A cute pink hoodie, like, you know.
If you can
Up yours,
hear...
Woke Morales. We'll see who cancels who. Lucy has it 2027. That's my future. Let's focus on the now. Let's focus on the now and on the law that will force me to use pronouns or something. I will go to jail. I'll get arrested. I'll go to jail. I'll go to jail.
Hear me? Please provide me with your age and pronouns.
I'll
I'm 51. My pronouns are he, him.
Okay, now Dennis, you're very quiet. Can you get closer to your phone at all?
Sorry, is this better?
Nothing changed.
I'm not sure how I can improve.
Hold on, I'll just have to turn.
Sounds pretty good to me, actually.
Me up on my end. I don't like to use this tool, but I will. All right, Dennis, I believe black people can't be racist. Do you disagree? And if so, why?
I do disagree.
Okay, I disagree that black people cannot be racist. I just disagree. I know that he goes with a different definition of racism. And actually, I'm kind of on board with what he's saying, that it's more important to focus on the systemic. But there are arguments where he actually loses me. And I'm not sure if it will make sense to you when I tell you why.
I believe all people can be racist.
Okay, what is racism?
Discrimination based on race.
Okay, so racism is just any discrimination based on race. And what would you say discrimination is?
Treating differently or believing that people are different based on race.
Are people not different based on race?
I mean, functionally, like...
Okay, treating people as lesser based on very skin deep differences, I guess.
I'm thinking in terms of like prejudice versus racism, yeah. I mean, obviously, people are different based on race in terms of skin color. You know, there may be medical attributes that are different, but I believe that all people should be treated equally under the law. You know, societal equality.
Okay, so racism is strictly discrimination based on race, and it's only racism if you're adding discrimination. So racism is not simply just you dislike someone because of their race. There has to be some discrimination.
But what does that mean? Simply dislike somebody because of their race? Like, if you dislike somebody simply because of their race, that already has inbuilt discrimination in it, in my mind. Because, right? Because if you're like, I dislike you just because your skin is this or that color, then that isn't the discrimination built in, right? What does it mean to say it cannot just be disliking somebody because of their race? It has to have discrimination. That's the isn't that the discrimination? Isn't the discrimination already baked in? Does that make sense?
No, I would say discrimination and or prejudice.
Okay, and or prejudice, great.
Like, how do you dislike somebody simply because of their race, and there's no discrimination or prejudice baked into that? Like, I really need an explanation on that. Am I not American enough to get this?
Do you believe slavery in the United States was a system of racial oppression?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Great. Did enslaved black people possess any meaningful social, political, or legal power over white slave owners?
No.
Great. Suppose an enslaved black person came to hate all white people because they were enslaved by white people. Would that hatred change the racial hierarchy or oppress white people as a group?
No.
Under your definition of racism, would that black person nonetheless be a racist?
Yes. There you go. This is where I say yes. Yes, they would. Because if they would take if they would take the suffering that they suffered under a group and then say there is some essential part of them, you know, the fact that they are white or whatever, there is an essential part that makes them this way, that makes them evil and I hate them. Yeah, that's racist. Yes. Because there is such a thing as victims becoming oppressors, right? Like, if those people will be justified in hating all white people now because they've suffered at the hands of white people, then okay, would that mean that it would be justified for that group to come into power and do upon their oppressors what they have suffered from before? Because it's justified to hate them? Like, does that make sense?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, so the enslaved black person would be racist for disliking white people, even though they were enslaved by white people.
Yes. Because white people did not... There's no enslaved trait to being white. Right? There's no slaver gene in white people. So yes, taking the experience of being enslaved by a group of people and saying this now means that all of that group is that way, that is racist. Yes.
Correct. Doesn't mean it wouldn't be justified, but yes, it would be racist.
Like essentializing some like imprinting some, projecting some essentialist traits upon a race. That's pretty racist. Yes. Is that, am I not making sense? Am I missing something? That is the thing that I disagree with him on. There you go. I've said it. Now I can get cancelled by my chat. If anybody's still here watching this. I have made my case. Like, I don't think it follows that if you have suffered injustice from members of a group, then it's justified to hate the entire group. Like, should Jewish people just hate all Germans now? It would be justified under this logic, right? My chat went dead silent. I'm not even sure if I'm live anymore. Lucia AVP. Am I making sense, Dr. Jones? Glitch Master. You wanted me to get into it. I got into it. What's your opinion? What am I? Oh, I have to charge my phone. You always make sense. No, but are my arguments about this sound? Right? Are my arguments here sound? Am I just spouting nonsense? I'm gonna charge my phone and I'm gonna be back. But yes, I basically have made my case.
It would be justified racism. If it's
No, there's no such thing as justified racism.
prejudice, it can't be justified. That wouldn't be prejudice. If it's prejudice,
it would be racism.
It would be justified racism. If it's by white people.
Like you could make a case that it's understandable, but there is no such thing as justified racism.
Correct. Doesn't mean it wouldn't be justified, but yes, it would be racism.
It would be justified racism. If it's prejudice, it can't be justified. That wouldn't be prejudice.
Sure. Absolutely it can.
Like if you project certain negative traits into a race, so you say that there's something about this race, there's some intrinsic element about this race, there's some essential element about this race that makes them this way, that makes them enslave others, that's racist. That is prejudice, actually.
Cannot.
Why would prejudice not be able to be justified?
Because prejudice has to be based on it specifically has to be like an unfair or uninformed opinion on a group.
Does that make sense? Like, am I making sense, Glitchmaster? Like, as I can ask you. Hopefully you've caught up to my argument. Like, there's no such thing as justified racism. Like, again, if it would not be justified for Jewish people to just hate every single German because of the Holocaust. Like, it's just right? Am I being crazy here?
Prejudice can't be based on facts.
I'm not sure I agree with that.
Like, you cannot say members of this group have factually harmed another group and therefore it's okay to hate all members of that group and it's justified. No, that makes no sense. It's no.
Prejudice, an irrational attitude of hostility directed against an individual, a group, or a race. Or
yes. If you say this group has harmed us and therefore there's some essential trait that make them harm us, that's irrational. Definitionally, that's irrational. If you try to make it a racial trait and therefore say it's okay to hate this race because this race, quote unquote, and that's not even accurate to say, has enslaved us. That makes no. Right? Am I being crazy? This is my disagreement. This is my disagreement. This is the disagreement that I'm having. I don't think I'm being
Their
crazy.
supposed characteristics. Irrational would imply that this prejudice is born from something like that is false and not factual. Unless you disagree with that definition of prejudice, in which case, give me your definition of prejudice.
I think I concede that prejudice cannot be justified.
Great. So if the black slave can justify their prejudice through white supremacy enslaving them, are they racist?
Yes. Yes. Because now you're making it into a racial trait. You're saying white supremacy is baked into all people that happen to have light skin, which is racist. Yes. No?
I'd almost have to agree no.
Okay. So if a black person in the United States justifies their dislike of white people, their hatred of the white race, through the oppressive nature of white supremacy.
I mean, that it's understandable, I can grant that, but justifiable? No?
Is that justified?
No. No, it's not.
It is justified, but in that
No, it's not. It's there's a difference between something being understandable, that you can, you can understand why what someone would feel in a way they would, but it doesn't mean that it's justifiable.
Yeah, that would imply that is no longer racism.
Yep, it's no longer prejudice and therefore no longer racism.
It is prejudice! What do you mean it's not prejudice?
But that's not the only
That
case.
makes no sense. I'm sorry, that makes no... Do I have to actually debate him on this? Do I have to be set straight? Do I, like... I have to be educated?
Of racism, black versus
do you
white.
think? Wait.
What if?
Hold on. So just really quick, because I just want to wrap this part.
Yeah, sure. Like if you've suffered from a group, then yeah, it is like it. Like yeah, I could understand why they would like have this, dislike, but I would not say that it's justified. Like if a Jewish person had an aversion to German people after the Holocaust, I would understand it. But I wouldn't say it's justified to hate every single German. Yeah. You know? Well, yeah, it is undeniably racist to say I've suffered at the hands of white people, therefore I hate all white people because there seems to be something about being white that makes them that way, right? Okay, I guess we're on the same page. Maybe I should debate Hovan. I should debate Hovan, and it's gonna be an epic debate. Right? It's gonna be an epic debate. 2 hours, 3 hours. Alright. Should I do more news or should I play a game? Glitchmaster, you're here? So you tell me. Okay? Or should I just finish for today? Or is that Brianna Wu thing? Brianna Wu lies about Zoran Mamdani. I cannot believe the serfs. God damn. They're actually, in some ways, the one to the left, in some ways, looks better than the one to the right. Because this has more character. What's President Sunday up to? So I can start watching Bleach.
But I digress. The point is that there are a lot of bad tendencies in certain STEM fields.
The pedantic malice of President Sunday. Oh, damn.
Where they think that
Okay,
they have a shortcut.
this is our
cheat
slough
code
time.
Who asserts that story
Now, the first problem I had was confidently
that format. I am also going to be doing no speech ASMR videos, just literally showing you the texts, and I'll be reviewing them with text on screen to talk about their qualities and such.
Amazing.
With my brand new phone, which has an amazing camera and an amazing microphone. So it's going to be really nice. And I have decided to call that channel Pedantic Malice. And it will be the Pedantic Malice of President Sunday.
New channel?
Such a great title.
Another channel?
And the channel is called Forever Dirt.
Yet another channel? How many channels does he have? Why did he need so many channels?
Hi, King Critical, is that you? It's like the spitting image. Alright. Lord, make my enemies dweeby. Let me grab some water quickly, and we're gonna get in 46 minutes. Dear God. Alright. Hold on to your butts. I'll be right back.
This is our slop for the day.
Richard, calm down. He's just a baby. That is too far.
What?
That is too far. Richard says, holy shit, he should have been at the Overwatch World Cup. Dear God. And P-Dog has the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever. Thank you, Gingros. Anyways, so here we go. This is the Pedantic Malice of me. Oh boy, I am excited. I'm excited. Here we go.
Today, I want to call out another YouTuber named President Sunday.
Yes!
Because I have been watching this guy's videos for a little while now.
Yeah.
And, there's some things I like about him. For instance, he likes dunking on bread tubers quite a bit, and I find that personally satisfying because I hate bread tube. But I'm calling him out today.
Why do you hate bread tube, though? Why do you hate bread tube, though?
Because I have noticed this repeated pattern of what I would characterize as a behavioral issue in President Sunday's live stream reaction videos. And I categorize this as a behavioral issue because I want to stress the fact that I don't think President Sunday is stupid, and I don't think his problems stem from...
He has a behavioral issue, okay.
From a lack of...
I'm hooked. I'm hooked to the premise.
Knowledge
as a person with behavioral issues.
His part from the arrogance of an ignorant man pretending to lord his intellectual superiority over other people. I don't think that's what's happening. In other words, President Sunday is not a pseudo-intellectual, which...
He's trying to flatter me. This is a trick. This is... Thank you, Razaz, for the 7 months. Appreciate it. This is a Trojan horse right here. It's like just like what we were talking about.
President Sunday is a pseudo-intellectual. No, I think President Sunday is an intellectual that punches above his weight. There you go. I said it. I think President Sunday is an intellectual, that because he's an intellectual, he thinks he is intellectualer than everybody else.
It's gonna come inside and let out a bunch of little men.
Is a word that I don't like very much because it's usually used by morons who don't know what they're talking about. Morons tend to use this word more than actual smart people, intellectuals.
Morons.
So
Morons.
kind of robs it of its meaning over time. President Sunday is an actual intellectual, and his field seems to be philosophy. I don't know if he has a doctorate degree or just a master's degree, but he certainly has some sort of
Got a bachelor's in political science with a minor in religious studies.
grad school credentials, because he always talks about the importance of credentials in his...
No. I don't talk about the importance of credentials. I talk about the proper function of credentials. Credentials are supposed to hold you to a higher standard. They do not give you... they do not make your argument valid. And they should not be used to lord it over people who don't know what those credentials mean. Which is why I specifically say very frequently credentials do not matter at all. Full stop.
His videos, he's very proud of his training in his field, and he's always...
What?
I'm not, though. I'm pretty sure I have said actually very specifically that, yeah, unfortunately I got my degree in political science. The video is a bit louder than your mic. Is it loud?
criticizing people who don't...
Oh yeah, look at that.
Word.
That volume is like way up.
Word.
Have philosophy credentials for talking too confidently about subjects that they don't understand.
Sorry, say again? What?
Oh my god. This
talks about the importance of...
Okay, enough.
But that's not because she has a degree. I tangential violence to me. The theist who asserts that story...
Now, the first problem I had is not...
Okay, can you let him listen to the first problem? Can you let him articulate his first problem with you?
But awfully quick.
With his rhetoric, it's just a stylistic issue. I hate this thing where YouTubers now are putting like a trailer for the video that you already clicked on at the beginning of the video, showing me a bunch of out of context clips that I can't...
Oh, the cold intro. He hates cold intros. Well, that's the thing. I'm sorry. That's just... Well, that is how YouTube works. That is how the algorithm works.
Appreciate the significance of because they're taken out of context.
Hey, look, that's the editor's discretion. Okay, I don't make those videos. I just do the live streams.
And I wouldn't even bring it up in the case of President Sunday, except for the fact that in his videos they're absurdly fucking long. This one is over a minute long of just out of context.
I also don't watch those videos, by the way.
Clips that you don't need to see. He's wasting our fucking time. Anyway.
Medieval society was deeply
It is too long, by the way.
Editor, never stop, okay? Never.
A minute is too long. He also... His videos also include all of his side tangents, which is annoying.
Stop. Make them... Just because he said this, I want...
Middle Ages, what they call the High Middle Ages. Others use the term to refer to the whole medieval period. Others prefer not to use the term at all, preferring other terms. It doesn't fucking matter.
Then why do they prefer to use other terms? Do you think they just did that out of whimsy? No, they did it because periodization actually does matter, because it affects how you relate those periods to development, right? That's why.
You're not making a value judgment when you call the period the Dark Ages. It's just a convention.
Kind of are.
That Petrarch came up with, and yeah, he had a value judgment about it, but that doesn't mean we have to every time we just use the word to refer to what we're fucking talking about.
But you just pointed out that it doesn't specify anything concrete, and so when you talk about the Dark Ages as a period, you are once again attributing things to a section of time that it may not be appropriate to attribute them to based on where and when you're talking about, for example.
I mean, what do you call it?
Now, to be clear...
I don't. I specify the year when I talk about the past.
Well, President Sunday does not use terms like the Middle Ages, modern history. What?
weren't really any scientists at this time. There were churchmen who moonlighted as scientists.
What does that mean? Genuinely, what does that mean? There were no scientists. There were churchmen who moonlighted as scientists. She must mean scientists by vocation. There were no people who were professionally scientists who were paid.
No. But she means that the people that did what they did not, technically speaking, use the scientific method as we know it today, right? They did not use the rigorous scientific method
to be scientists.
as it's laid out right now.
That's not true. There were actually. There were mathematicians, for example, although they were...
That's great, because that doesn't change the fact that the scientific method was not laid out. So they were not scientists by today's standard. There you go. I've said it.
They were on the Islamic side of things.
So he stops the video here to make the claim that Gutsick Gibbon is wrong. That no, there were actual scientists during the Middle Ages.
Depending on what you mean by scientist, yeah.
And then the only example...
I would say there were scientists long before that in antiquity. And you know what? Carl Sagan agrees with me.
Can come up with professional mathematicians in Islamic culture doesn't apply because she wasn't talking about Islamic culture. She was...
Oh, here's the catch, though, bucko. A lot of those Europeans, A, they were also doing science, but B, a lot of...
They were doing science, but not by utilizing the modern scientific method or whatever. It's a lot more complicated than that.
A lot of them got their material from those Islamic scientists. There was actually a lot of interchange between them. Did you know we got Aristotle from, like, most of our Aristotelian texts from the Reconquista? I think it's neat. That's Thomas Aquinas got his translation, for example, of Aristotle's Politics through, was it William of Monmouth or something? Some guy translated it into French from Arabic, and then that's what Thomas Aquinas got for Aristotle. I can't remember which exact text it was, but that's where he got his Aristotle.
Okay, enough. I'm bored. Destiny loves genocide. I mean, I guess. Enough. Alright. I think I've done an amazing stream tonight. What do you think? Have I done an amazing stream? Have I done a good job? I think we can end it here. Right? So this has been great. I've been for like, I think over 3 hours. I have to nap a little bit and then get to work. I'm preparing some Patreon content for all of you. So I will raid. Raid you. I would raid you into President Sunday, but he hates me now. Oh, Brooks. There you go. I'm raiding you into Brooks. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. Good night. Thank you very much. Enjoy Brooks.